circulation, circulatory, cardio, and lymphatic, they all kind of go together. So it's great to have the topics combined because this is circulation, you know, circulatory of the heart and blood as well as the lymph. So so they do go hand in hand. So that's where we're starting, is the first of all would be the clearing. So let's get into clearing ourselves. So yeah, the any attachments, you might want to check yourself. Any attachments, check what your life force is. And clear what needs to be cleared. Do I have, yeah, chakras. Yeah, check your chakras, see if we need to get balanced here. And I like to do that chakra. I combine it with the aura clearing, where I'm sitting barefoot outside, or you just imagine that you're sitting barefoot outside and bringing the earth energy up through your feet, being grounded and connected, bringing that earth energy up through your feet, through those receptor sites. It's the electrons that are coming up through the earth, and you send those electrons up through the legs, up into the hips, and then you just kind of let it kind of swirl around a little bit in the root chakra there and balance that out up into the pelvis, the second chakra. Move the energy up into the sacral. Moving that energy up through the heart center. Moving it up through the throat. Up into the third eye. And the crown. And then you can let this energy come up the top of your head and just start clearing your aura. And you can bring in a golden sun through your crown, bringing that down, breathing and clearing. Third eye, coming down into the throat. Breathing and clearing the heart space. Breathing and clearing the sacral, or the solar plexus, and the sacral, and the root. And then down through the hips, the legs, the knees, shins, calves, ankles, feet, all your toes. And send that energy back down into the center of the earth. And then bringing your spirit in. So seeing your little spirit as a little mini-me on a little magic carpet on top of your head, and then lowering that carpet so your spirit now comes into through the top of your crown, into the forehead, behind the eyes, the nasal cavity, the jaw, the throat, the shoulders, coming into your arms, filling out all your fingers, making its way through your chest, heart space, solar plexus, coming down further, to the sacral, to the root, to the hips, down the legs, down your knees, your spirit's coming all the way down your legs, into the feet and every toe. So now you feel your body from the inside out, 100% in. Okay, great. All right, so that feels better. All right, so to prepare for clearings for the 100% fully functioning circulatory and lymph system, we want to let go of any DNA programs. Could be for heart disease, any circulatory issues, lymph system, illness, any kind of illnesses around this. So check yourself for number of DNA programs for anything to here to do with heart, circulation, cardio, lymph, and then do the shooting dice into the DNA strand. You can see it actually however you want to blast it off, you want to suck it off, off the little black spots off the DNA. Or you can just do this either way, but you want to remove any program, any faulty program there. And the clearings themselves, that's on the document, the Word doc, it would be around the ability to have a strong and healthy heart, lymph and circulatory system, to live with systems that fully support your loving and being loved, your ability to release waste and that which is no longer you, removing domination, suppression, and control. So there's a long list of things. If you have your document open, I can switch over the screen share too if you prefer. So continue with the DNA. Let's also look at this. So there's a long list here. So let's just go through. I think I've got it kind of in order of amplification first and then perception. And then got emotions here, emotional thought forms, emotional brain, control energy. We've got DNA of others, but we're kind of working on that already. But DNA around anything here in this statement, you can check on that individually. And then here are emotions to check for that have to do with the heart and circulation, of course. But you can see how some of this has to do with love, and the heart being the space of love, right? So so sometimes if people have issues around the heart and blood and circulation and so forth, they've had some type of issue in their family of origin, or I'm thinking about maybe someone who was adopted and has a confusion around whether they're loved or not loved. Also for maybe divorce, they might hold it against themselves or blame themselves. Love that went bad, breakup that was, maybe their fault or whatever, that they're holding themselves accountable. The guilt, right? Guilt, blame, unforgiveness, resentment, crushed, maybe a bad relationship ended, disappointed, bitterness over something. So you may want to get into other areas with them and clear things on another level. Let's see, I know we have timelines up here. Yeah, timelines. So I would look at, past life stuff and see. Now, of course, there could be timelines for, family. We have emotions, energetic, family, and physical. So that might be, in the physical, right, where we want to see, was there, and there really always usually is something that has gone on in another life that causes these kind of problems. with people like, why can't they commit? Or why can't they, why are they always blaming other people? Why do they always do whatever, right? So it could be because of some other time in a past life. So I would really dive deep into that. And even with yourself, I mean, this would be a great thing to do maybe over the weekend if you would like to take it on as a project and get yourself clear, whether we have time to do this, all the clearing right here today on this session. But I would, dive deep into the past life stuff and see what actually comes up. And the part that that maybe a lot of people don't realize is when they are attracted to somebody in a relationship, a lot of times it's because we resonate with that person. And now it could be a healthy, resonating with them, or it could be because of past life stuff, or even karma, or, we came back around again, let's do it again, meeting similar people, doing similar things we've done in the past that maybe we just really prefer not to have to do this again, but here it is, and why are we attracted to that, right? So for example, if you are a victim or have been a victim in another life, you may be attracting a victimizer in this life and then wondering why is it now that you're, why is it that you're being victimized again, right? So this is a huge thing, a large piece that people aren't aware of. And they think, okay, I have to just stay out of relationships. I'm just going to stay single. This is not working for me. I keep attracting the same person, different, name. And so the relationships all end up pretty much the same way, so you can call that, for example, I have a friend, she uses this example. She uses the example of Elizabeth Taylor, how she was married, I guess 8 different times or something, but to the same abuser, alcoholic type person. So in her past, I'm getting anyway, I haven't done a lot of work, but I'm getting, yes, that she has the same thing going on in past lives and so forth. So she kept attracting the same type. And we can put a stop to that. We can just release the, the impact of the trauma from those past lives. Maybe, do you need to know about it? Do you want to know, what happened? Okay, I mean, that might be a breakthrough for some people. So that would be acceptable to do that too. And really this could be a part of a whole totally, if you wanted to do a love clear, like we did the love clearings before, and we, did abuse and so forth, but you could also add this in, depending on how big you want to make your packages. You could add this in as a addition to the love, because this is so huge. As a matter of fact, I am doing a program on this. I'm doing a program on relationships, and so I am building in some of this into that program too. So yeah, it's very, very interesting to dive into it. And then you can see where there's, we've got contract, shared energy, cords, and agreements. These are the areas with previous relationships that maybe we have some agreements from past times that we need to get rid of. Maybe we have a cord into an ex that we weren't maybe aware of, or shared energy still with this person, or karma. I suppose that could be down here. I would probably put it down here with the rest of it. So yeah, so this stuff can be keeping us in the past, all that. And then of course there's perception and group mind virus, things we think about ourselves that aren't beneficial, curses outside of ourselves, traumas, you know, even from this lifetime, traumas from relationships, or even, you know, with your mother or father. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It can just be the family, right? Some people have like a really mean brother or something, and traumas around that, you know, so that they don't want to get involved with men or whatever it is, you know. And then there's things in our bloodline. It could be maybe your mother has had issues with love or relationships, and now it's being passed down through that bloodline. So that's the route that that can take. So we want to check all of that for ourselves. And then curses. There's definitely, you know, curses around human relationships and keeping us, you know. And then I get to thinking too about even past times. You know, maybe you were dating somebody that somebody else really has a big crush on, and now so they put a curse on you, you know, and that could happen, and we'd be walking around with these curses for years and years, and we're not even aware that we have been cursed, right? So check yourself for curses. Just see if there's anything around.
Marlene, I had a really cool thing happen last night. Just with more of this body work, like you mentioned, the body embodiment, like when you brought us into our bodies. I was going to a wellness collaboration thing, and right before I got like this stabbing pain in my back in the heart center, right before I went, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I turned my head and it was like everything, there's a sharp pain in my back. And then so I checked in, instead of just overriding it, I did a brief meditation, checked in with my higher self, brought my higher self down into my heart space and asked what was that? And there was a person that was going to be at the thing. My body was saying, that person has undermined you and stabbed you in the back, so just be mindful. And so I cleared it, but it was so painful. And then as soon as I cleared it with the quantum, it was completely gone.
Isn't that amazing?
The body was definitely saying in that heart center, like, watch your back.
Watch your back. I love that. I love that, Margot. Thank you for sharing that. Here's another thing too that speaking of the back, that you can put on oils, like essential oils on your back. And there's one, White Angelica is a good one to put on your back, because that will have your back, right? You can put it on your, you know, shoulders as well, front, but yeah, and the body is smarter than we give it credit for. So if we are in the body, and that's the thing about getting yourself all in, like Margot says, when you're getting in your spirit, and that way you can be more aware, like when Margot went somewhere. So yeah, and just feeling what is it around relationships. Now, in my prior business, when I was doing online marketing and so forth, I was wondering why I would be attracting the type of customers that I was attracting. At the very beginning, it was like, why is this person so demanding and mean and, you know, cruel, like acting, you know, and just everything had to be now, and they're first, and you know, you had to jump or whatever. I'm like, and I found out about that person that there had been a past life there too, where he'd been really cruel, the same type of thing. And now he's back in my, I'm like, wait a second. And so I actually told the client that I would not be, you know, I gave him 30 days, but I said I would not be doing any more work for them. They really had a hard time accepting that. And they were like telling me basically, no, you know, figure out what you got to do, but let's just get this back. And, you know, like, no, this is my business. I'm telling you that I'm not doing business with you. And it was like a breakup or something. And I'm going, what is going on here? And then it turned out, yeah, that's what happened. So very interesting to get into clearing all this stuff off ourselves, so we don't in the future attract, you know, clients to this business too. Well, we can, and I have, you know, and it's interesting, but the person that you really want to attract is, you know, your ideal customer. Yeah, go ahead, Margot.
It's a really interesting point because I did a retreat a while back and it was all really high vibing, awesome women. And there was this one woman who, yeah, just that like negative, brought manipulation, control energies into the space. So my takeaway was, or thinking about, is there something we could design to, I mean, I guess you don't want to control it too much, but to design in terms of agreements up front, like if you feel challenged, what would you be willing to speak to it, or I don't know what it is, but getting some of those control energies out of the way ahead of time in terms of an agreement, like this is how we're going to work together, or this is how I work, and maybe doing a brief inventory or assessment. I don't know what your thoughts might be on that, but it might be too hard administratively, but we were thinking it is important to assess people's ability to work at this level. Because some people really are not. Or what do you guys all think about that?
As a client, you're referring to them as a client?
Well, some of the clients, like they kind of have mixed messages in terms of responsibility. Like they say they want it, but then as soon as you offer any support, or you're sort of going, well, why are you here? Because you're not ready to do the work or be open to what we're working on. So systems.
But Marlene, when we came for the first class to Phoenix, you spoke of having somebody that you decided wasn't at the level and told her no, that she couldn't come, right, to that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so, and did you have a very specific process for that? I think that's what I'm getting at. Like, is there sort of a list we could go through to say, you know what, because this woman at our retreat, she was not ready for quantum. She was so scared. So she got into ego. She just took and it was really purposeful. I guess we, like you said, that attraction, we all needed to get something from her. So it was purposeful, but do we, we don't want to get in and manipulate spirit too much, but what level or checklist could we use to say, hey, this person's not appropriate for this, per se?
Geez, I just muscle tested and I didn't even need to do that. I was just getting a no, this is not right. She is not part of this mindset, really.
Okay, so muscle testing them. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, so really just checking in.
Marlene, tell them the story about the lady who told you she was a healer, but her vibration was at what number?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, and it was really low. Yeah, 150?
It was 150.
Yeah.
And me and Marlene had a conversation that day, and we were like, how could she heal somebody at that vibration?
Perfect.
So we were thinking maybe it was a past life, an old energy from a past life. Maybe she truly was a healer. We were trying to figure out, and I'm thinking that same thing for you, Margot. Like, what's their vibration when they come in?
I could check their vibration, and we could have a certain vibration that we want at the event.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Well, no, of course, you can assist them and raise their vibration as well. But yeah, what is their starting vibration? And that can just be one element of it. But the other one has to be, how does this feel, right? I mean, that's what I went on, is how does it feel to me? Is like, it didn't feel good at all. As a matter of fact, I think it was something from a past for me that maybe was attracted to me. And I'm like, this person, she was manipulating and manipulative. And I believe maybe from a past, that's who she was. And
remember, Marlene, I was trying to decide whether to come and meet you guys last November or wait. And Marlene tested me to be in vibration with you guys.
I did. I said, don't wait. This is your group.
You told me not to. She said, that's my group. And it was my group. And so maybe that's what you do, Margot. It's like, this person for this group or not this group.
And really trusting spirit, because I was like, well, I don't want to manipulate spirit, but actually using spirit to guide me in decision making, and really trust that the right people will be, and using our tools, because I got, I think, into some self-condemnation, like, well, who am I to judge, instead of spiritual discernment. I was like, well, who am I to judge that she can't be here? But the bottom line was that she shouldn't have been here. and it's not my personal judgment of her. It was just like, this feels so off, but I overrode it. And it impacted the whole event.
I taught all these years. I've been teaching since 1995, and one student can throw off the whole class. I would have 40, I could have 39 wonderful little angels, which they never were, they were teenagers, but that one could change that whole classroom, just that one kid, and I ended up sitting him right out there in the hall because he was messing the whole thing up. And then I'd say, can you come back in?
Naughty too. He
was being naughty. And you know, just so funny to me, he could throw the whole thing off, one kid. So I think it's accurate, that energy field.
Thank you, that's so helpful, the discussion.
Oh, I have a question. What about the stab in the back? Did you know which lady it was when you got there?
It was actually a man, and he wasn't there. It was someone I used to work with, and one of the other women that I have a really strong collaboration with, she had invited him, and she phoned me ahead to say that he might be there because she knew of the circumstance. So I was trying to be high vibing and overlook it, or just, I do that. Like, I try to see the best. So my body, that discernment, my body's just saying, just trust what you know. It's okay that he's there and you're there, but just, you know, engage with this person from that perspective that they did undermine you before, and just be mindful of that. Like, don't always look for the best in people, because sometimes they don't have your best interest at heart. So it was helpful.
That's a great statement, Margot. I'm from Minnesota, and they used, you know, I think they all still do call it Minnesota nice. And I was so nice. And they say after many, many years, I found out, oh, niceness can be taken as a weakness. And I didn't know that, right? So I'm like, wow, I wish I would have known that a long time ago, because I really.
That's in Texas too. That's in Texas too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's so nice. Oh, we can take advantage of her because she's so nice.
Yes. So I was the one that at work, I was the one, oh, she does, look at, man, she does a lot of work. Give her more, right? So I was the one doing all the work, and getting none of the, you know, recommendations, or, you know, it would be, or I remember I had a boss that took credit for everything I did. And so her boss was, you know, saying, oh, great job, Jan. Not you, Janet, but another Janet. And she was taking credit, like she came up with that idea and blah, 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 blah. And it was like, hello? No, I just got more work, you know? So I look back at that saying, it's nice to be nice, but like what Margot's saying, feel it, you know, be aware of what it is. What is there something in the background here that I should know about? What, you know, or maybe it's nothing. Maybe they just felt that vibe that you're, you know, maybe a victim or something, right? So,
Marlene, remember that conversation we had this summer about who are our audience? Who is our audience? Like, who can we truly help? And you and I have that long discussion about it. Like, will they be above 200, or will they be elderly? Who are we helping with our programs?
Great.
I was trying to remember that whole conversation, but you said it's probably not the elderly or people below a certain level.
Right. And I don't mean that we can't help the elderly. And I do a lot, but I usually do without them knowing it. I mean, their relative has asked me or something like that. But certain belief systems may have been in place for a long time by then, and they, you know, or they may be, I don't want to say past a certain stage or whatever in their illness, but it's true if they are set, like saying that this is the way it is, even if you're clearing, you know, group mind, control energy, all that stuff. Maybe they have decided, hey, everybody in my family, you know, phases out at around 80-ish, and we just go down, you know, and they're accepting that as their thing. So,
and I have a question for the group. So my best friend from college called, and her aunt has bone cancer, spinal cancer. She walks into the hospital one day, the very next day she can't even walk. I mean, it's progressed spinal cancer. Now, because of COVID, she's sitting in a room all by herself. No one can visit her. So my best friend bought her a cell phone so that they could FaceTime with her. They can go and visit and sit outside and see her. And she's wasted away already down to probably 90 something pounds. And my heart says, well, what can we do for her? But is it my place? Do I have her permission? Is she too beyond help? I don't know what the answer is on this. So I sent the picture to Marlene, wondering, are we supposed to help people who don't ask us for help?
Comments, anybody else?
Lainey?
I've
Lainey?
got one. So, I mean, from what I've been taught in the past is that the spirit has a choice. So like if you go back to something like Reiki, you send them Reiki, they can use that positive energy either to heal or to help them cross over. But at the end of the day, it's my belief system that you know, it's their choice of whether they want to come back and heal or if they want to cross over. And it's my job to help them do whatever it is they choose to do.
So I just asked her higher self if she wants some assistance.
Yeah,
That'd be
and
the
you
best
can,
way.
the other thing you can do is you can always send energy, but just know that you're sending it and that person, that person's higher self, that person's team, person's guardian angel, however you think about it, will vector that energy to the direction they want to go.
Okay.
Because I've got a cat right now that's fairly elderly and I'm just sending her energy and every day she'll make a different decision. It's like, okay, I'm just going to send you energy and use that energy to come back to us or to cross over. And I have to, it's hard, but you just have to accept that it's their choice. It's not mine.
Okay. That's a good answer.
But this particular situation is nobody's asked us to heal them, but you feel for them, and it's so yeah, I guess for what Lainey's saying, just sending your energy. But how far do you go in clearing things? Let's go into, you know, traumas and timelines and I don't know if that's, you know, the appropriate in this case, right? So I think just sending that person energy, whether
Right.
yeah,
Different than someone coming and asking for our help.
right, yeah.
This woman, I just feel sorry for, you know.
Maybe they would if they knew that you were available or that this stuff, you know, even exists, right? Maybe they would.
Right.
Yeah, just
Sure.
another thought that's coming through for me, Jody, and I was thinking about this yesterday because I'm feeling called to do some end of life work. Like,
This is what this is. Yes, definitely.
yeah, so I'm feeling the call to do some end of life, like helping people release and feel with one so they have less distress going through the transition or less anxiety. And I was thinking too is helping people understand that it's not just for them. Like if we're clearing karma, like if you're clearing karma or any of that disease for her, it's going to help her bloodline,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's going to help her bloodline or even her timeline. Like Lainey's talking about like coming back in this life or crossing over, but if she crosses over, perhaps not having to repeat some of the karmic patterns and, you know, educating some of these people about what's available to them if they choose to do that. So that's just a thought that came through for me in terms of, I think it can have an impact, but then maybe just checking in with them if they want it. They might not, or muscle testing.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing that with my cat too. It's like there are things that I'm clearing, and yet last night I was trying to clear meridians. I took this meridian class, so I was trying to clear all the meridians, and there was a point it was just like, stop. It's like, okay, fine, I get it. I'll help you, I'll send you energy, but when you tell me stop.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good point, Margo. I didn't think about clearing like old timelines and stuff. I think that sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, and then it just sort of gets rid of some of the clutter, and then some of your healing, your messages might go through better, like in terms of, yeah, that whole multi-dimensional piece at end of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that can be the tipping point, right? With whether they can come back in another life healthier, you know, without all this garbage with karma and other entanglements. Yeah, or whether they can, you know, move up in the vibrational ladder too, right? So instead of looping back and doing it all again, right? So I do send people energy, whether they ask for it or not. And I figure, just like Lainey says, it'll go where it goes, where it's best accepted. And it's like, I'm not going to choose where, what's best for that person. And I had a dog too, Lainey, passed last year. And I got the feeling from him that he was like, stop all this. I'm okay. Just stop. You don't need to continuously, and I was, supplements and all kinds of stuff, shoving him down his throat. He's like, spits a couple out, like, come on, really? Is that going to help this? I mean, really? And he's talking with me like that. I'm going, I know, but I want you to live. So I'm trying to reason with him, and he's obviously got a different idea. And he wasn't actually going to transition. I actually had to have the angel vets come out and give him the shot, to transition, because even though he wasn't walking hardly, it was, his hips were giving, he was 15, big dog, right? They don't usually last 15, but he did. But yeah, I don't think he was going to go heart-wise. He wanted to stay with me because he knew I wanted him to stay. But yeah. I knew that's not what he wanted. So I'm like, oh God, I can't just continue to let him suffer. Yeah.
So that's where I've learned with animals, especially, it's like you have to get yourself grounded and say, you are welcome to stay as long as you want, but I release you if you want to go. And that way they feel better. They don't feel so, I have to stay for them. I have to stay for them. It kind of calms things down, and then they can make a better decision, not thinking they have to stay for you.
Yeah. Talk to him like that. And I want to tell you what happened just real quick. After he passed, we have yard here, big yard. So my husband had dug a hole. I already got a couple of dogs back there already. And so there's 2 lady vets, and they said, do you need help bringing them out? My husband said, yes. So they all went out in the backyard, brought them out there, and I'm standing there in the dining room, kind of just like, jumping kind of around, just, don't know what I'm doing. And then through the corner of my eye, he was a golden retriever, and Labrador retriever, and a tall golden figure in the corner of my dining room, very tall to the ceiling, and tall and thin, and I guess he would be tall and thin, I guess, if he stood up, but I don't know. And it had whiskers like a dog. It was like a man figure, but it had whiskers like a dog. And I'm like, that's my Rufus. I knew it was Rufus. It was almost like it glowed, but, and he was just saying that he's not out there. He's right here. I'm fine, and then it went away. But from then on, it was like, yeah, that was the touch, I think. So I saw him. So anyway, I'm not sure, we got off track here and with this circulation or anything, but it was beautiful. And so those things are a confirmation. So, okay, so then you've got perception and all the things here. So what your mind is, is telling you about the heart space, what it's telling you about certain past things that have happened, maybe older relationships that you've had that didn't go well. So now you've got this playing in your mind like, geez, I'm such a bitch or something like that, or whatever you were told, by other people. And so you've got loops going, well, I'm not easy to get along with, or I'm, high maintenance, or whatever you may have been told by others. And so you may have accepted some of these things, maybe not consciously, but you're like, well, you kept being told that all over and over. So maybe there is things, that's black magic. So thoughts about yourself against yourself. Checking on that group mind virus, what the group thinks. And that's another thing too about relationships is what is acceptable, what's not acceptable in the family. And that's that clan energy. If you want to belong in this family, you get married by the time you're out of high school or whatever it is. Or you become a teacher or a nurse. That's what it was. Thankfully, just right before I was born, it was that way. And when it came to me, though, when I was 18, I remember, well, my dad, they were a little older when they had me, like in 35, 38, something like that. So there was kind of like a generation gap in between there. And so my dad was of the impression that I should either A, get married, but he didn't want that either, but because I wasn't dating someone he liked. So he wasn't even going there, but he was like, go be a secretary or something like that. To him, it was go be a secretary. I'm like, well, and I wound up doing office work, not as a secretary, but it was interesting how that happened, and getting paid little comparatively to like the stock boy who's going to college and, he needs more than you. I'm the assistant buyer of this department and the stock boy is getting paid more than me. So yeah, that was fine back then. They saw no problem with that. So what is it, is there still stuff going around, group mind virus, right? So just some examples how these things can stick, right? And then in the emotions, emotional body, emotional thought forms around, what things you've gone through. Maybe there was abuse, maybe, checking all the different bodies, and making sure that they're clear of darkness and emotions, okay? And then there's the emotional brain back here, the amygdala area. Now we did the brain clearing, but that could be something that you would add in, whether you do sending energy into the amygdala with the intention that you're clearing that anything interference there in the emotional brain. You can do that. The control energy, so that could be, it could be your family saying, well, you gotta, we need a baby or something like that, or it could be, religious groups that expect certain things from a woman or from whatever, from your relationship. Or maybe there was control energy around a relationship where a spouse took all kinds of control and, was really manipulative or narcissistic or something like that. So checking that so that it doesn't have to continue again, getting out of that loop. And then the DNA, of course, if there's anything else for, DNA around whatever could be blocking, programs blocking what you're asking for. And then, of course, we already went over the emotions. And then there's always, checking for dark energy. So these are the ones that would be identified here. So whether you're doing the basic swirl is suggested here, or you can take it offline, like I said, and do this later. But so those are the clearings for this part, the circulatory system. And then going back into the slides, just real briefly, I'll show the slides again. And there we go. Okay, so DNA.
Margot laughed about.
Yeah. Is there laughing going on?
There's some laughing going on.
I caught myself, I'm so blind, I caught myself like this looking at the screen. Oh God, that must be awful for you guys.
Like that fish in a fish bowl look, yeah. So physically, the circulatory system is, it delivers oxygen to all the cells of the body, nutrients, and then removes the waste from the cells, protecting the body from foreign invasion, and then it maintains the acid and alkaline balance. So physically, the blood vascular system, and then so the system then is really blood, the heart, the vessels, and the vessels would be the arteries, veins, and capillaries. And it's like we just said. 4 major components, we already just mentioned that. The veins carry the deoxygenated blood to the lungs where they receive oxygen, and the arteries carry the oxygen-rich blood away from the heart where it needs to go. And then here's the questions around circulation. You can ask yourself, so what value is there in not allowing myself to feel my feelings? So obviously if it's a heart space, this is where you feel from. And yeah, that, Jody, yeah, that book, yep, that's exactly what it is. Yep, and that is from Wendy Jensen. I got it here too, the Healing Questions Guide.
I love this book. It's so helpful.
Oh, yeah, I know, huh? And these may not all be relevant to the person that you're looking at, but what I like to do is there anything in here that's relevant to my client? Yes. Okay. Is it number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And then they'll say, oh, or someone will jump out at me, or I'm like, oh, that's it. Or yeah, number 3. Okay. So what part of life am I not allowing myself to participate in because I feel I have too many responsibilities? So how can I fit it in? So they're not allowing them space or time for themselves. And what will bring, and interestingly, that's similar to with breast issues, right? So why am I doing everything for everybody else? That kind of thing, because the heart space, this is the breast, the chest, the lungs, right? It's all right in here. And as a matter of fact, your arms and the carpal tunnel thing, that's an extension of this area, this whole space, right? Your arms and hands and wrist.
When I see breast cancer friends and family, I always feel like they overdid it, for their families or their husband, or like just overdid it everywhere, at work, at home.
Yeah.
I saw it a lot in our family, and I saw it in some of my friends, and they were exhausted women. They were exhausted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they felt that they had to for some reason, right? To be accepted or loved. Yeah,
Yes.
maybe they didn't get that at home. And
Maybe.
so, they had to be good little girls and just do all the chores and do whatever and do what you're told and blah, blah. And see what that gets you. Yeah, so bringing back excitement in your life and the ideal job, so what limitations have you put on yourself to not go out there and do what you feel you want to do? And pleasures or passions that you may be denying yourself because of the resentment you feel over putting everyone else's pleasures and passions as a priority. So you avoided giving yourself what it is that you've been giving everyone else, but yet you're now resentful of that fact. So carrying around that resentment, and I think that was on the list too, of emotions to clear. So then affirming, I find ways to do more of what I love and what brings me joy, and I allow myself the necessity of feeling my emotions. And I'm not even going to say emotions here. I think this should be feelings, feeling my feelings, right? So emotions to me are more of the of a lower frequency, and feelings are, love or above, what they say, right? So I allow I'm going to say feelings to freely flow through me. I can do what I love and still support others. Wendy. Okay, so this system includes, go ahead.
I felt that in my body when you changed the words. That was really weird.
Did you? There is a difference in frequency, absolutely. Yep, love or above versus love or below, or below love or whatever. Yeah, because if you looked at that frequency scale, all the hate, anger, resentment, bitterness, they're all down in the lower vibes. Emotion. Okay, so yeah, the lymph system now. The lymph is the lymph parallels the arteries and veins. That parallels the blood flow, and It includes the vessels, the nodes, and the lymph organs like the spleen. And it also filters the blood and helps protect the body from disease. And here's questions around lymph. So what will it take to recenter my mind on the essentials of life, love, and joy? What will it take to release past memories, habits, and traits that are holding me in a downward spiral? And what will it take to effectively honor and manage my emotions? What will it take? What will cause me to feel accepted and loved in my environment? And what will it take for me to believe I am capable to care for, nurture, and manage my feelings in a positive way? So again, it's a lot of it around feelings, right? So I am made for joy. I allow the past to slip away so I can create the bright future ahead of me. I am the master of my feelings and I manage them with wisdom. Yep. So if you feel something, you can't sit there and just ignore it or discount it. It's real, you know, and if, you know, or maybe find out what it is, what's bugging you about that, you know. So then going into DNA programs, and yeah, so clearing the lymph system on the document, it's similar to the other clearings that we just did, so potentially you might not have as much to clear, but this would be around the lymph system this time. So, you know, in amplification, you've got these areas. In perception, you have these, again, pretty much the same ones, and in emotions, you have these, and then of course the shared energy cords, contracts, agreements, karma cycles, timelines, and then, well, I'd say that's kind of separate. So this is the entanglement stuff, and then cycles, timelines, and ghosts. Ghosts, well, you know, they can splice into your DNA, and potentially you could be feeling things from that spirit, you know, that may or may not be your own stuff, right? So I guess that's probably why it's on here. And then checking DNA and bloodline. So that's going to be your DNA, others' DNA, and then the resets. And then you can do the telomere expansion, those ends on the DNA strand, lengthening, bloodline, and then clan as well. So that's all part of that. So
Marlene,
yeah.
Does the lymph system need regeneration?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the organs?
Yeah, it does. Yep, so, and that will be coming up here too. I go into it here in the slides, but I don't know how ready you are with the clearings to do it, but respiration. Okay, other systems connected would be the respiratory, you know, because obviously it's right here in the same chakra, lungs, and the breathing into life really is respiratory. So the breathing into life. And then the nervous system, because that is the, together with the glands of the endocrine system, the nervous system provides the control of all body activities, including the control of the circulatory system. Okay. All right, so major functions of the system: oxygen, as we said, respiratory, brings oxygen into the body. The nervous system participates with that oxygen exchange by monitoring the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels and by controlling respiration, and then the acid and alkaline balance of the body. So if some people are out, they're like their body's always acidic. Well, you do the diet, and that maybe if that doesn't work, then this would be a place to check. For sure. And then we talked about go ahead, Margot, did you have a question?
Yeah, I've just been doing a lot of reading lately. I know you've probably all heard of the heart math. center, like Heart Math Institute.
Yeah.
So much of that research on the heart coherence.
Yep.
And when we're doing all this work with the heart, like I'm almost thinking this would be required for almost everyone, because that when we're in that heart coherence, it actually lowers the brain waves. Like it takes the brain waves into a lower brain frequency, and then your brain moves into coherence. And then with that coherence, it does impact our aura. Like it's all like we're an electromagnetic field. So when this and then it impacts the autonomic nervous system for fight or flight, and it brings people back into, because when we're storing that trauma energy in our lower energy centers, it gets stuck. Whereas like anything we can do to create that heart coherence, which this is doing, it really impacts the autonomic nervous system and the ability to self-regulate the nerves.
Yeah, very good. I just participated in, well, it was a live stream, but I guess it was from London, so it started like 1 a.m. or something, so I've got to watch the replays, and then it was during the day and I was doing sessions, but it was Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton, and they just, did you do that, Margot, a week ago? Something like that? You're muted.
It's Greg Braden and and Joe Dispenza's work based on Greg Braden, but it's all about, the metaphysics of the heart coherence, and really very much in alignment with this work.
Yes, absolutely. So those are two, if you haven't already checked them out, check those guys out. And I've got to watch the rest of it. That's one of the reasons that I got that. I thought, well, this is absolutely applies here. So yeah, check out heart coherence.
I'm just getting the idea for you guys. That could be like your specialty program, or your, I'm trying to think of the name my marketing guy always uses with me.
Your
Like your big program, like your heart program, but it's your signature program.
Mm-hmm.
Making you a big package out of that around the heart. Like Marlene does liver and brain as her super signature programs.
Yeah, absolutely. Any of these things that we've gone through can be, a signature program extrapolated out to include all kinds of different things to build value in a package, so, and I've started to do this now. I've got a new website coming up that we've been working on, and in it there's going to be, or there are, he's building 3 different options. So there's can be like a basic level, if you will. So it's just going to be just these prep clearings and then boom, regeneration or something like that. But then middle offer, can add in more. So then we can add in love clearings, for example, that, and then the premium package can then have sessions, include sessions with you, or however you want to do it, and add in more areas. So then you could say plus the lymph system, plus the whatever that you're going to add in there, and regeneration of all the circulatory and the lymph system, this whole thing. And maybe you do the heart coherence as well. So, or try and, work with them on that. And then doing all the shared energy, cords, contracts, karma, all that clearing, DNA, timelines, going into getting to the root of everything like we're talking about here, so that they are clear and clean and now can go into another relationship. And then that's the piece that I'm adding into this program I'm doing too, is the attraction. So what is it that we're attracting? So clearing the things, and I have them assigned to dimensions, right? So like if you're in the very lowest of relationships, which would be contractual, just, I'm just doing this, I'm in a contract, boom, that's it. That's like a first dimension, kind of love. And then a second one up, maybe, collaboration, okay, just to get a child or something, and then they go up, in degrees from there. So a second dimension, or a third dimension, a fourth, and then I go up to a 5th dimension love. And so clearing everything that would prevent you from being able to attract somebody else at that same level. Or, you know, maybe there's not a whole lot of fifth dimensional love guys out there, but maybe you can just settle for a fourth dimension or something. Or get them up to fourth. Once you got a third, I don't know. But you know what to do to
Pump him up. Pump him up.
mold them into what you want. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've been in the ones that doesn't. But yeah, you can still get what you want. I guess, but yeah, so that would be part of it then too. And I don't think I've included that with this training. But there, you can just go through the charts and say, well, what is it that, you know, you would need to clear to move up into the next, you know, dimension of love or whatever, the 4 or 5 areas. And just going through the charts and seeing what that is and clearing it.
Marlene, can you send us the different dimensions, like the words, like 1 is agreement, 2 is collaboration at the different levels?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
When are you doing this program?
Well, Iram wants me to do it, so I don't know what the date yet, but maybe in October is what I'm
Okay.
thinking. Yeah. So
I don't think anybody else is doing anything like that.
really? Oh, okay.
I don't think so. Not
Yeah.
as far as those telesummits go.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a call with her. Well, I'm on her, it's mastermind meetings I do once a month. And I'm the only one who showed up last month out of our group, I guess. So it was all me. And so that's what we did is we went through my, my next program, my next show. And I had a couple, 3 different ideas. She goes, nope, that's the one. Nope, that's it right there. Like, okay, we do love. So I'm doing a case study on it right now, and I'm doing it for myself as well as somebody else. And that, but yeah, so it's very, very loaded. It's a loaded topic. And for a lot of people, it's, they're at their wit's end. They don't know what to do anymore. They attract is like the second level or whatever guy, and because they don't know any better either, right? That's just where they're at, and they're stuck in that level, and maybe if they knew better, they would want that too. And then you could include something about having your spouse involved. You know, I think that would be interesting too, to having a package.
Do you think it's possible if you've just attracted a lower dimension partner or relationship to change the relationship like that you're in, or is the context usually that as your vibration changes, that relationship falls off and you move into a new relationship?
Yeah, well, that's the way it's been. Yeah, absolutely, because it does have to do with your frequency. You know, you can't be a 5th dimensional love, you know, level if you're still only in 200 frequency. You know, it's not going to work that way. So there are things that and that's why you need to do all these different clearings, and then it will raise their frequency. And then doing other clearings like what we did in level 1, where we are doing around the body ownership and getting yourself into, you know, spirit in your body and so forth. So yeah, you may need to do that as well. But yeah, definitely it's about getting your frequency up there. Absolutely. Else it's just doesn't stick, right? And they just know what they see their parents do, and that's about it, you know. You know, hopefully they had a good relationship. Bruce, my current husband, his parents had a great relationship. So luckily for me, but past relationships I've had, divorce. Well, the second one, but he died. But the one I divorced, the 2 I divorced, they had been divorced. His parents had been divorced and not good relationships. So I can see his patterning in that too. So, but yeah, you can change them, but you need to kind of get their buy-in, you know, like, you know, are you open to improving yourself? Or why would you even be attracted to someone with a level of 200 frequency? It just probably wouldn't even be relevant for you at this point. You know, I'm sure you wouldn't attract that. So nearly any disease process, but maybe before, you know, if you've been in a relationship for 30 years, before you got enlightened, if you will, and you want to help them, that would be certainly something to do. It, you know, make your years together happier. So nearly any disease process may be related to impaired circulation. So a lot of things on here can be because the circulation's not moving correctly. So yeah, I mean, some of them are obvious, like fatigue. You can, you know, back pain, you know, headaches and all that. Dental problems. That's interesting. Wow. Hearing issues, skin. I can see that, you know, gray hair. Interesting. Yeah. Catch cold, tendency to catch colds. Yeah. Toxemia, metabolism, sinusitis. Yeah. A lot of things on here. Eyesight. Well, I guess if clean, clear blood, you know, doesn't get to these areas, bringing the oxygen, yeah, then I can just see joint pain for sure, huh? Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So any of these could go on a sales page, if you will, and just, you know, are you experiencing blah, 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 blah? Yeah, gray hair, joint pain, achy feet. Yeah. So that's me. I identified myself. So then, you know, that would be interesting to that person to take your sessions for this topic. So, okay, circulatory. So physical activities support great circulation. So the system requires movement. So sitting at the desk all day, I've been told, you gotta get up and get out of there. Okay. So the circulatory system is directed by instructions from your DNA. So that's why we did that first. The lungs, it's directed by the lungs, obviously. Nerves. So, I mean, you could even add in the nervous system here, you know, that would be a big add-on, but it could be an upsell if you wish, or, you know, adjunct onto this to do later, as well as the brain. I mean, the brain is going to affect everything too. So besides the amygdala.
Did we do the nervous system?
No.
No. Okay.
No, but that would be one to do. To add on. Yeah, no, we didn't do that program. So maybe I can offer that, you know, a little later.
Yeah, if this is our last, if you could just send we can work through it ourselves, like go through but if you could add.
You could. It's pretty involved, like the brain. It's really up there. So, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to talk you through it if we do that one, because it's involved. It's more of an advanced one too, just like the brain. So the heart, brain, and skin direct the circulatory system and its fluid flow process. So the skin, that's interesting.
Marlene, what are you reading off of, the Word document?
Well, I'm just reading this right here. I'm actually reading, oh, goodness. I'm going through the slides myself. Here we go. I'm right there. But yeah, it is on the Word document as well. We would be on number 15. Slide 15 or number 15 on the doc. And then Yes, so healthy emotions enhance your circulation. We've already gone through that. Low vibration emotions will degrade circulation if you stay in that resentment and bitterness too long. So that's, you know, the heart arrhythmias or the anginas, heart attacks, that type of stuff. And I can use my husband as an example because he was adopted and has had some, you know, family of origin questions and issues, I guess, if you will. We found out through a past life, if you will, a healing session. It wasn't past life, but it was right after he was born. We saw that he was in a, well, the birth mother, you know, gave birth, but then she left the hospital, right? And then before the adoptive parents came, he was there by himself for a week in that little plastic bucket thing they put the kids in. A week he was there by himself. So this is where we feel that, and he had a heart attack at 48. So right 6 months after I met him, he had a heart attack. So, and we know that, you know, this is what was caused from, right? So addressing these things can, you know, early enough can help somebody so that they don't have to experience heart attacks later on. And then the DNA is related to the flow and ease of healthy, happy feelings, and that improves circulation. And the emotional body has that has a happy outlook supports a strong circulation. So that love or above feelings, obviously. So what you can do, you know, massage, keeping the feet warm, keeping the extremities, you know, hands, feet, whatever. So yeah, definitely massage can really be beneficial. And the lymphatic detox is, now I have a gal that does lymphatic detox, but she uses these wands. She's got, they're like glass tubes, I guess, if you will, and they're hooked up, you know, to power, electricity. And she does the, you know, she does them on your body at the different areas, you know, to move the lymph and the groin and the different areas, armpits, yeah, neck and so forth. But she kind of goes throughout the whole body and does that. It is much more effective than just doing the lymphatic massage manually. So ask, I guess, if you find somebody that has the actual machine. Can be much more effective. And yeah, so it moves the stuff out. Now also I saw this video. He's a chiropractor. I think it's called the Motivational Doc, DOC. He's on YouTube, and he does a lot of things with he just has a ton of videos on a lot of different subjects, but one of them was lymphatic massage of the face. And I thought that was amazing, and I started doing it. Now I can't remember what it was exactly, but I have the YouTube video. I can probably send it to you. But it's like you're doing things like this, and then going, I don't know, like this or whatever, but then you're actually pushing it down. So I guess this is where it comes out. So you move it around here somehow, and then you push it out. And then you move it around, and you push it out. And after you're done, you can really feel the difference. I'm going to send that to you. Lymph massage, lymph of the face. It's pretty interesting. Then he also has like a kind of like a facelift kind of thing where you can do things like this. I'll send you that one too. I've got both of them. And I thought that was, both of them were very interesting to me because nobody has told me to do this before. And, you know, and if it can actually affect your, you know, your appearance, why aren't I doing this, you know? So, and then, yeah, so getting that, and she does that too with the wands. She will do the face, you know, and she works a lot, but this is something that you can do yourself. So I thought that was getting that sluggish lymph moving. And then chiropractic, you know, the pressure, releasing that pressure off the vertebrae. Spinal imbalance can affect circulation in many different areas of the body. exercise, so that they said circulatory is movement. So, you know, get outside, do whatever, even just walking, swimming. They're two of the most highly recommended, walking and swimming. So stretching for numbness, weakness, or hurting in the legs. Yeah, stretching, very, very important. And yoga, absolutely wonderful for circulation. Heart disease, highest cause of mortality. It's a third of all deaths from coronary heart disease. By age 60, 1 in 5 men has had a heart attack. So can you think of the amount of people that you could be helping to avoid heart attacks before the age of 60? You know, so if our clientele is, you know, 40 to 60 perhaps, that would be a wonderful thing to offer. Heart attack prevention program. And so risk factors for the heart, you know, of course, they always say cholesterol, but now just know that cholesterol too has a, well, there's good cholesterol, obviously, the LDL, but the bad cholesterol, there's only like one kind I heard that is the one that you would even want to even consider doing any of those medications for, and it's very rare. So they like to push the, oh, you have high cholesterol, but if it's not the one kind, then really taking those medications aren't going to do it. Doing some other things with your diet, I would say, is before taking any of those pills. Now, when my husband had that heart attack, this has been almost 15 years ago now, but they wanted him to be on that. Well, Plavix was one thing that you got to be on this for a whole year. It keeps your keeps anything from clotting, right? So they want him to be on that. He did. He was on that for a year, but they want him to be on the cholesterol medication too. And he did for maybe a month, and then he threw them away. Like, I'm not taking this crap. Didn't make him feel good. And then that's when he did all the research on it, and that's when we found out about cholesterol and the money-making medications by telling people that they have high cholesterol, right? Now, but there is the triglycerides. The one thing that you should be concerned about is triglycerides in the blood, because they're like little razor blades in the blood. So read up on that and what you can do to reduce triglycerides. That would be the thing. But I think oils, different, you know, what oils you're using in your cooking and so forth too. So hypertension, you know, high blood pressure, smoking, diabetes, and then family history. So DNA programs, right? Or it could even be bloodline. So I could add that. Yeah. Stressful lifestyle and activity, increased serum uric acid, elevated serum homocysteine, and disproportionate intake of fat in the diet. Yeah, and then here, okay, so this, they did a study. They had 24 people, and they put them on a vegetarian diet, and they meditated and exercised for 5 hours a day. And so these people had been, had heart, you know, pains, right? So they fell from 10 a day down to 1. And then exercise capacity improved by 44%, blood cholesterol fell by 20, heart muscle function improved, and many quit or reduced blood pressure medications. So really, yeah, vegetarian diet, meditation, and exercise. So that would be something that we would be, you know, suggesting to our clients, the lifestyle piece as well, right? So, I mean, we can do what we can do, but then they have to eat right and do the exercising and do the things that would be great. And vegetarians, if looking at your total cholesterol ratio, if there was a 4.5 or higher being considered dangerous, well, vegetarians had a 2.8. So, but half of all American men and women have ratios of 4.5 or above. So that would be the red meat diets, fried foods, and trans fats is the big, huge piece of this here. So, and maybe Lainey has some more input on this, but
there are lots of great books on all sorts of genetics to look for as to what you shouldn't do and what individuals can do. And really it's the triglyceride to HDL ratio that I watch like a hawk.
triglyceride,
Yeah, and HDL.
HDL. Okay.
And you were talking about the bad cholesterol. There's the I think it's called LP little a. I put it in the chat. That's one of the ones that they say is genetic, but I found I can change it. So
Oh, it's
that's
a
what they
genetic
want.
marker?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I have moved mine through different diet changes, and it's that's one of the ones you do want to watch, because it is, you can from genetics you can have a high number, and that's when you've got some really high risk that you do need to take care of one way or another.
Okay, now does this LPA, does this come out in normal blood serum tests when you do the basic nutrition?
I think I had to have the special.
Okay, special
It's
blood
part
test.
of the SMAC, and it's a special one. I've had mine and my husband's done.
Oh, all right, that's great. What did you do to change your number, Lainey? Tracy's asking.
Just dietary changes, supplementation, and my practitioner, who is very open-minded, was of the belief that you couldn't change those numbers. So when she saw mine change from one year to the next, it was like, oh, well, I guess you can. So
Wow, good for you.
but yeah, there are books, and there are some really good books if anyone wants to get into the details of how to change your cholesterol, if you even need to change your cholesterol versus your triglycerides and your HDL. There are many, probably about 2 or 3 books that I'd recommend if someone wants to go really deep into it. But it's a long story.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do have the names of them and you want to send them.
I can email them out. I'll have to go find them. They're over on my big shelf.
Yeah, Tracy says congrats, Lainey, and she'd love to know too. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Comment on that note, that Greg Braden, that same work about the electric field and all this work we're doing, in terms of, they were one of the key things that they were telling people that brings so much hope is that they're finding scientifically that it's not the genes themselves, but the environment within which the gene is. So the gene expression is based on the environment within which the DNA lives. So for me, that was a key takeaway. It's like we can switch it on or switch it off. You may have the gene, but it's the environment that the gene, that creates the gene expression. So, you know, if your parents had the gene or something, not necessarily thinking that you're going to be destined to have it, that you can, like Lainey's saying, changing that. And it's sort of, I guess, all these things combined, the nutrition or the coherence or the electromagnetic field from the food and the quantum work, it's going to have a completely different expression in the gene, whether it's switching it on or off.
Absolutely. Yep. Great comment, Mario. I appreciate that, because yeah, you're right. What you put that gene through, because yeah, it could be there. You could have that. And then clearing it, you know, clearing that program, and you're really clearing, when you're clearing a DNA program, you're clearing the belief really that you're going to get it, or, you know, that runs in your family that you're going to get that. That's really kind of what you're clearing. So yeah, the environment that's in. Very important. And I can't even begin to express the different changes in my health since I only eat vegetarian. I eat some fish, you know, occasionally, but they're wild caught fish is really all I'll eat, wild caught. So that's my own personal thing, because they're not in cages, right? They don't cage them up and give them injections and all this stuff, right? So that's why I will do wild caught fish. Okay, so I have to move this up, I think. Here we go. Okay. Chat. Okay, depression. So yeah, this is more strongly linked to stroke risk than all other risk factors. So smiling, the brain makes hormones that makes you and your heart feel good. Now, on our list, let's see, we're on number, chiropractic exercise, heart, depression. depression. Okay, yeah. So on our Word doc, there's more on here about anger and grief. So when the human, when our need for intimacy is frustrated, depression comes and protects us. When there is no way to deal with the situation effectively, with situations that enrage us, depression comes and quiets our violent impulses. So depression may be with a menopausal woman for a while. You know, this is just for women. I put that in there, I guess, but it's time to cherish the deepness. So maybe there would be getting in touch with, you know, your beliefs, or perhaps that nothing you do makes any difference, something like that. Victimization is a risk factor. So depression puts a lid on rage and pain. So dare to forgive what hurt you and stop reliving the past and the pain. Dare to thaw your rage, find your anger. You can lie belly down on the earth, and anger that's forced outward has changed the course of history. So anger forced inward, though, brings resentment, depression, and self-destruction. So you can go ahead and grieve and rage for a while and just let it out. So smile, and then touch and be touched. So part of this stuff with people being in the hospital without their family members right now is sad, because I don't know where they're getting that touch. And that's the thing with my husband. Like I said, he was in the hospital a week after he was born. You know, sure, I'm supposed they changed his diapers and fed him, you know, but how much more did nurses have time to do, right, with that touching thing, right? So very important as well. Menopause. Okay, I already did that. Okay. So heart problems, questions, and clearings for around the heart itself. So this is separate from the circulatory. So what will it take for me to open myself up and allow love in? And if I no longer needed the approval of those who are incapable of giving it? What is going on in my family that needs healing, and how can I help? Who do I need to forgive? What will it take for me to completely forgive myself? So what responsibility am I trying to get out of? What do I need to do to heal this relationship that hurts so badly? Am I seeking money, power, or position over love? What would it take to accept myself as lovable? And who am I hoping will rescue me, but they never show up? And what will it take to relieve them of this expectation and rescue myself? Yeah, so if you're waiting for some, you know, knight on a white horse to come in and rescue us, you know, but he never shows up, got to rescue yourself. So affirming, I approach my relationships with wisdom and courage. I know what needs to happen for the full healing of my heart. As I forgive, I am forgiven. I now choose to let go of the past resistance I had towards love, as it has the power to heal all wounds and regrets of the past. Yep, so love in the heart center. Very important. Okay, blood. So now I'm just getting into the blood itself. Now on our Word doc, however, this is where I had the clearing for love. Love myself, to be loved, respected, welcomed, surrounded by joy, feeling loved, worthy, and self-deserving. And I believe that that was in our love training. So we've already done that one, but that would be where I would say that this would go in here too. And then this is also on the Word doc. It says clearing programs and karma that you've brought from previous lives, preventing self-love and other love of a higher dimension. So that's the shared energy, cords, contracts, agreements, karma, and timelines. So that's where I would put that in there. So then blood, and then information about the blood, and you can go through, but it includes the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. It's the only fluid tissue in the body. So it absorbs oxygen from the air, plays a role in digestion, moves out carbon dioxide, transports hormones, and absorbs and distributes heat throughout the body. It's interesting. And the vessels expand and contract when they react to outside organisms such as bacteria and to internal hormones and chemical changes. If there's a blood vessel tear, then platelets clump together and form a plug in that area. Proteins form these threads and fibrins to form a clot. And then the blood transports waste substances to the kidneys and liver for elimination, and red blood cells transport oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body. White blood cells are the disease fighters. They are 1% of circulating blood, but multiplied during an infection or inflammation. So with continuous inflammation, a lot of people have inflammation of the body. You can see where they have the maybe heightened white blood cells going on. Probably a lot, you know, at all times. So postmenopause. Okay, so this is an interesting piece that I saw. It's a time when women hold and stir their wise blood inside. Now, a woman of wholeness and wisdom, you find your own ebb and flow of your own ocean no longer tied to that of the moon's. So this is a time of power. So valves, the human heart has 4 valves, vessels, arteries, veins, capillaries. Will not keep up with the oxygen demand when coronary heart disease occurs, the oxygen supply. Yeah. So blocking of the blood vessels with calcified, ulcerated, and fibrotic fat deposits, or arteriosclerotic lesions. So 95% of all coronary heart disease is due to these arteriosclerotic plaques. So the majority of fats, which go through the bloodstream to the liver, they're absorbed. The majority of fats are absorbed through the lateral ducts into the lymph circulation before eventually joining the blood. So fats at times are assimilated incorrectly, and this could also contribute to the formation of lymph pockets. So those are the plaque, since the lymph carries the digested fat. So lymph pockets. Ooh. Hardening of the arteries. It has its own set of emotional questions, such as the ability to loosen up and soften your approach to life versus seeing it in a negative way, and the ability to feel and express love versus feeling threatened. Forgiving someone for pain that you feel others have caused you versus not releasing injustice that you feel has been placed on you, and feeling more secure about money versus stifling the flow. So that could be part of hardening of the arteries. So start seeing the joy in life and let it flow through you. See life through your beautiful and intelligent heart. So about the fat deposits from poor elimination, unbalanced circulation, and a diet causing an excess fat. Body systems include the liver, the colon, and the spine. So the liver assimilates these fats and can cause problems with the colon, liver dysfunction. Yeah, absolutely. And so the colon then plays a role in the disease process. The early stages of plaque formation, a colon engorgement or prolapse is given as the cause of toxins or poisons remaining in the system. So these poisons break down in the cells or ducts through which they're flowing. And the stressed colon plays a central role in unbalancing the circulation, leading to a slowed circulation between the liver and heart, or to increase blood pressure. So of course then the colon could be another additional add-on to what we're doing here. And of course then the heart. So then once formed, then the disturbed circulation can cause the heart attack and the hypertension, in plaque formation, and in stressing the heart as well. Now, then there's a thyroid connection here. So this can be something that can be added on too. So when the thyroid hormones are low, then plaque builds up in the blood vessels, blood clots increase, the diastolic blood pressure rises, and more. So yeah, there's a huge heart attack and heart disease problem with compromised thyroid. Absolutely. That's what we found there. So then here's the regeneration. And I don't know if you're at this point or not, or if we really even have time for it. I guess maybe this is something that we can potentially just take offline and do ourselves, but make sure you have all the clearings, the prep clearings done and ready, the DNA, past lives, all that. You really want to do all that first before getting into this. So I'm getting no that it's not cleared. It's not ready yet. So go do all the clearings first, and then going into the, you want to do the heart, you want to do the blood, you want to do the valves and the vessels. So going into the heart, now the master cells, there could be 9,000 to 3,000 stem cells for the heart. Okay, but it doesn't matter. You're just in the master stem cell. and doing the regeneration there of the heart, the blood, the valves, and the vessels. So the vessels can be the arteries and the veins, both, right? So this is for the circulatory system. And then going into the DNA, checking for programs around a faulty heart, blood, valves, vessels. We, I think, already did that at the very beginning, but if you haven't checked for that, and then I also check for broken DNA, anything that needs to be fixed here. I go back to our DNA training and make sure that everything was addressed here for DNA too. And then after that, you can, make sure that the master cell is not 100%, and then lighting up that cell. So you want to stimulate the mitochondria, and they're the energy providers in the cell. Stimulate that mitochondria and just light up the whole cell. And then seeing if it's ready then to match that perfection to all the cells in the heart. So I would do the heart first, and then I would do the blood, second. You want to do regeneration on each part individually, then do the valves, then do the vessels, veins and arteries. So then do that, and then check for upgrade. So where are you at with the upgrade? Test for the number of cells that have received the new information. So making sure that every cell now in the heart itself has received this new upgraded information from the master cell. Checking for the number of days that the heart will be in regrowth. And then checking to see at the end of that time if it is complete, or where from your starting number, percentage of function to your number now, where is that? And if it's not 100%, does it require another round of regeneration? Or asking the body what it really does want. So maybe there was something else that, we didn't address, right? So maybe there was more emotional stuff, that we didn't get to. So maybe there were more emotions than the ones that were just on this list, right? For that individual, there could certainly be. So you could go through that whole emotions list and find probably a ton more things to add, right? So I mean, it could certainly be to get complete on that. And then, so then from the heart, then you want to do the blood, and the blood itself has, where am I? Yeah, the blood itself has, its own master cell too. So that's where you're going into there. So now the lymph system, oops, oh gosh. All right, lymph system. This is, just basically talking about it again. It's the right under the surface of the skin. Network of capillaries leads to larger vessels throughout the body. Their cells are permeable to fluids, and this system removes toxins that gets dumped as waste into the liver and the kidneys. So if you're having maybe some poor kidney health or liver health, maybe you need to look at the lymph system as well for that. So then dry brushing is recommended, doing daily, and then making sure that you're going to the heart when you brush. So like the legs coming up, everything's coming, from the hands up to the shoulders that way, so you want to brush towards the heart. Brings oxygen and nutrients to the cells of the body, carries away waste and excess fluid. So some people have this, what's it called, edema or lipodema or something like that. I can't remember the names of it, but a lot of people have like puffy ankles or their legs, and you could just see fluid in there, that they're certainly just not getting their lymph moved, right? Lymphedema, I guess is what it's called. So for blood circulation, this is just telling you how to do the brushing. So the actual regeneration. Now on your Word doc, going into, I guess it's number 44, the lymph system. And I also have on here to check for alien type 8 synthetics, because they affect the lymph. So karate chop there, and checking for that that can certainly be something when we're doing the clearings. I suppose I could have put that up there instead of where I have it on the dock here. But and then how are your lymph organs? And I've got a whole list of things here that can be, you know, parts of the arms, legs, fingers, or toes are puffy. Yeah, maybe having night sweats, fatigue more often, experience muscle weakness, struggle with infection, inflammation, or shortness of breath and fatigue, swollen lymph nodes. You experience sore throats more often. Certainly that can be caused there. So then regeneration. So there's master cells of the lymph system. There's 74 master cells. But we're just intending we're in the master cell. You don't have to get all involved. I got all 74 or whatever. And there are 9,000 stem cells. So doing the same thing then, going, you know, you're just going to intend that you're doing the whole lymph system as one. You don't have to do it separately like the heart and the blood and so forth. So same thing here. Then you're going to go into the master cell, DNA, checking the DNA, lighting up the mitochondria, or having the mitochondria activate and lighting up the cells, checking for upgrade, the percentage of upgrade, or the percentage of cells that are taking the upgrade, you know, to begin with, and then the number of days that lymph system will be in upgrade. And then after everything, you're going to want to restore the system. So you're restoring communication of the whole system. And we did this with respiratory before, and whatever systems we work in. We want them all to communicate optimally with each other. So going through each part of the system, so the heart is speaking, communicating with the blood, is communicating with the lymph system. Be sure all the programs and interferences are cleared. So you could check maybe as a whole, you know, the whole circulatory system. Are there any more programs? Is there any others like spiritual interferences, darkness, that kind of stuff? Check on if all parts were regenerated, which we just did, but then restoring the communication to all parts. So you're just intending that, and you're seeing that everything is responding and communicating as a whole here. So that's important to do. Improvements from a healthy circulatory system, obviously less risk of cardio illness, less restricted movement. Yeah, so it's really about movement. And I had a client once, and I think I have it on the Word doc here somewhere, that she mentioned about not being able to step out. So I think that I had it in orange or whatever, but yeah, she was, maybe I didn't leave it on this one, but she was saying about, you know, fear of life, fear of movement, stagnant lack or fear of change constricts movement. So trust in your choices. So she had a fear of life, to move forward. She wasn't moving forward, just stuck, stagnant. And I suppose a lot of people right now being home a lot too could be considered in this stagnant position. So yeah, the movement, just getting outside and even just taking walks and doing things like that and then change too. Absolutely, people have been upset with maybe their jobs or have gone away. Things are changing for them in their work life, but also personal things going on too. So this may actually be a circulatory clearing, may actually be ideal for a lot of people. And so this could actually be a program to put together for getting back into life, right? Getting unstuck, or you know, making new choices, that kind of stuff. Also on the Word doc, I have, and I think it's on page 7, causes of impaired circulation, and it's by Edward Casey. And I just copied and pasted it on here. But yeah, spinal imbalance was given frequently as one such cause. So what's causing the swelling on the little toe of my right foot, or poor circulation from the 4th lumbar center, or what? Yeah, so he's giving answers, question and answer, or what's causing the wheeze on my chest that I get. And he's saying pressure in the fourth dorsal, right? So the spinal. So checking that out and through subluxation, whatever. And then there's a number 2, excessive acids in the system was also mentioned as a cause of altered circulation, and rheumatism. Someone asked what's the cause of rheumatism, and then he said the side effects of acids in the system producing pressure in the circulation. First, in the blood supply, we find there's a tendency of acidity throughout the system, tends to make for a slowing of circulation. And then number 3, he says lack of normal eliminations was sometimes a cause of changed circulation. So nature has provided it in this system to eliminate or throw out the poisons through the circulation. So there is so much that may be eliminated through the respiratory system. The circulation through the capillaries become clogged with the poisons of the system. So I thought that was interesting because, you know, he's from, you know, many decades ago, and what he has found, you know, through his channeling, right? So causes of impaired circulation. I thought that was interesting. Also, page 9 under exercise, I also pasted in some information and from Edward Casey here about movement. So it's various circulatory systems of the body. Normal functioning is a prerequisite for good health, and osteopathic manipulation was there, alkaline diet is there, massage is there, fume baths. He suggests sweat baths, and the violet ray, wet cell and radioactive appliance. I don't know what that is, or if that's still relevant. Mental attitude and exercise. So the blood and the lymph are the main circulatory systems of the body. Okay, body cells are kept alive, and otherwise we'd be poisoned, right? And so he's recommended several basic interventions for assisting with circulation. Steam baths is, again, what he said. Manual medicine, okay, the chiropractic, he said, increased cases of dementia where the nerve tissues in the brain is toxic. Increased circulation to the brain would naturally be a high priority. Yeah, so dementia, yeah, absolutely, because what is circulation? The blood goes everywhere, right? We're not just talking the heart space, heart center here. This affects a lot of stuff. And then through physical exercise daily for improving walking and swimming. Yep, he says the same thing. So he's specified exercises for morning and evening regimens. That the upper body was to be stimulated in the morning and the lower body in the evening. These are the natural patterns of circulation which can be assisted through, and then I guess he's got some handbook for health through drugless therapy, which illustrates vertical exercises for the morning and horizontal exercises for the evening. So that's interesting too. So anyway, so I thought that was, it went along with what we're talking about here. So I'm open to old information as well as, you know, what's working now too. So, okay, so improvements, yeah, hearing, releasing past memories, comfortable in your own skin, healthier emotions, feeling less threatened, more secure, softened approach to life, resolving relationship issues, and self-love. And then, of course, you're going to want to have people, you know, drink more water, and after they're done, and then to go out into nature, because being unplugged from the stressors of your life, getting in sync with the natural biorhythms of the natural world. So again, putting your bare feet on the earth and bringing the electrons up and so forth. So, or just taking a walk or something like that is good to recommend. And yes, reverse the debilitating effects. Relaxing is what we do. All right. So, okay. Got stuck there. Moment, sorry about that. got like a jillion things on my computer open at the same time. I'm just so good with that. All right, so questions, comments. Margot, you're clearing.
This one's huge for me.
Is it?
Yeah. The circulation, there's a lot blocked, a lot of I'm really feeling it. Yeah. I'm like, clear. Yeah, there's definitely a lot. It's good, but it's clearing. Needs to clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Yeah, great comment, Margot, because there really is a lot here. And that's why I don't feel comfortable in doing the regeneration right yet, because we're not ready. Because there is a lot. This is a big one. And it really does encompass a lot of stuff. You know, you can see all the different.
Yeah, I think that's my takeaway is how big this one. It's so huge. Like it just encompasses all of everything that we've learned to date. I'm really feeling that it kind of pulls everything together that we've done.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel teary. I'm just so grateful.
Oh,
So grateful, Marlene, and everybody. Like the amount of healing that has happened for me personally, and I know all of us, and just so grateful. Yeah, thank you so much.
I feel the same too. A lot of this is, you know, I'm doing the clearings along with you too. So things that I hadn't cleared before, you know, I'm able to do a second check on things, and a lot of stuff's come up for me too. So I appreciate all of you to assist me to get this out and documented and able to, you know, for you to be able to pass this on to other people, you know, people you work with, clients or your families, you know, and what could this actually, really it's increasing the frequency of vibration for people too, right? So, I mean, the ultimate end point here, I guess, for what I see for doing the work is to get the consciousness raised, right? So bringing that frequency up, the collective consciousness, so that we're not stuck in that, you know, the lower vibes. And there really is a clear pattern I see of people who are stuck in low vibe and choosing to stay in that, and people who are awakening. There's people, many people awakening right now, and they really require us, right? They don't know probably a lot of this, if any of it, right? But they're awakening, and they're looking, and they're seeking, and they're researching and doing, they're finding things online. Okay, maybe Reiki is it, maybe, you know, maybe I need to do, you know, acupuncture, maybe I need to do other things, right? So they're really out there searching and looking for stuff. So being available to these folks right now is no greater gift, I think, that we can provide, is what we're doing. I mean, every day I'm talking to clients with their sessions, and this what we just did today, it's huge in everybody. So I mean, I could spend their sessions doing this type of clearing. I obviously clear what comes up, but even if we add just a piece of this into, you know, if we could just get a little bit of it into each of our sessions, maybe tweak it down a little bit and see what it is that's most relevant for most people, or even making it into certain parts and just saying, would this person most benefit from part number 3, 4, whatever it is, and maybe getting that to them. But cutting down on heart attacks, you know, it's the number 3, I guess, is that what they said, cause of death in this country. I mean, this is ridiculous. And if we knew this, we wouldn't have to go through these medical diseases and procedures and treatments and cost. Just the cost of you know, not just monetary, but the time this person, you know, in the hospital recovery, going to all these doctor's appointments now, being on this medication that is probably going to be affecting them in other ways and, you know, bringing on other complications. The medications. I work with somebody right now who has had chronic diarrhea for a long time after getting off Paxil. She'd been on for many years, and it really did a job on her digestive, her small intestines, just so messed up. I mean, she's coming along now, but it is taking a long time, you know, for the poisons that have been introduced into our bodies in the name of medicine or healing, right? So it's like we're bringing healing out of the, you know, dark ages, right? And back into the beauty of the human experience, the human body. It's so intelligent. It has all the information. It just needs to, like, just let me go. Just get this stuff out of here, you know, the poisons and the toxins and whatever. If we didn't introduce that, we would be perfect. Because our DNA is perfect as a fetus. So before we were born, we had perfect DNA. Everything was just as it was. The divine human template of our DNA is perfection. So that's who we were before we were born. So all the stuff that just got laid on us, all the programming and all the toxins and so forth that came throughout our, you know, growing up and also adult life and continues, right, with all the different programming on television or wherever, people telling us things that may or may not be true. All of that has just bombarded the human, right? So to me, my whole reason for doing this is to be able to lift that off of the human experience, lift it, let's let that stuff go, get out of the dark ages, bring us back to where we were perfect, right? We were perfect. Like I know as being a Lemurian, we were perfect, really. We were just, you know, seeds from Pleiadians, or, you know, and they've got this perfect, you know, DNA going on. They can do, you know, bilocating. They don't need bodies or whatever. But, you know, back in those days on Earth, we had perfection, right? Before all the other stuff was introduced, brought in. And, you know, after, of course, we went to different areas because of the island, the waters came up. But we had it, and we can have it again. The body is intelligent. It hasn't given up on us. And so that's one thing that I am working on, is part of my protocol, is bringing in my past protocol from Lemuria, because I was a healer there. And so I'm bringing in the beauty, love, and perfection of that divine human template to people, and using that as part of my protocol now too. So I'm channeling and doing some things like that, and bringing up my old practices, which are working. And what I've got put together so far, I'm really I'm impressed, I guess. I'm not shocked. It's like I know it already, and so I just want you to know that we are perfect. And so just saying no, canceling all this stuff, you know, and just doing a full no. I don't accept anything that is not of my divine human perfected template. I do not accept it. And even just the saying of that, I can feel a lot of stuff just moving off just from declaring it and refusing. I absolutely refuse parts of this. And there's, for example, like agreements. I clear agreements by just saying no. I cancel all agreements. Boom, gone. You know, so it can be that easy, right? So just know that's who we are. We are these perfected beings who have, you know, we went through the process of not remembering who we were and having all kinds of stuff come onto us that was not us, right? So just letting go of everything that's not us, of our own perfection, and getting everybody to to be up at that level also. So yeah, my pleasure in spreading this information to you so that you can now go on and help other people and, you know, get their frequencies up to, you know, a higher level of love. I like to get everybody up to 500 or above that I'm working with client-wise so that I can know that they have a better chance at healing their lives. And you know, sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it takes several sessions, but just know that whatever it is that you're doing, it's providing a benefit. I mean, even if you're like, I'm not sure what their problem is, but I'm going to do this clearing. Okay. If you're just intending that you are improving their entire situation, whatever it is that they say that their issue is, by doing that clearing, then just do that clearing, you know, if that's all you know, right? And just seeing it for them. And a lot of times I'm hugging them, you know, I'm hugging their little 3-year-old that had a problem. I'm sending them kisses and I'm like, oh, you're so cute and just beautiful. And, you know, making that, I can just see their little 3-year-old just like brighten up, you know, and so bringing them, their spirit back to life, you know, and bringing that spark back, right? So, and that keeps me young too, right? So it's gonna keep us all from aging. And that's the ultimate, so that we're, you know, here to do our work and whatever that we want to experience. You know, I want to experience my RV, and we went last weekend just locally. I'm like, I gotta go somewhere. I don't care where I go. We just went into this, we're in the same city, but we went to an RV resort and just unwound and, you know, used their pool. Hardly anybody there because it was, you know, 112 degrees. Put the, you know, the taxing our RV AC system, but it was, I love my RV. Nothing broke. I mean, everything was working in tip-top condition. I mean, that AC was on all the time, 24/7, the whole weekend, doing a job. But yeah, I was, it was relaxing, right? So yes, so this is why I do it too, is to be able to enjoy myself and have more time to experience what I want to experience, you know, and loving myself. So that's a part that I'm not familiar with, is taking time off a lot of times, you know. But that is, yeah, that is the love of self that I like. I put my foot down. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to do this, you know. I could sit here and work, but I'm going to go do this for myself. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Margot, and everyone. Jan, Tracy, yeah, Jody, Lainey, and I know Dia's not here today, and Renee is here. So any other comments from anybody, anyone else?
Yeah, do we ever do liver? There's so many things I don't remember.
Did we do the liver? Didn't we do elimination organs? I thought was the main training. I think we did. Yes. Margot's saying yes. That was day 2, I believe it was. And,
Yeah.
and oh, here, you know what? I have a...
That might have been before you came on, Renee, I'm thinking.
Oh, possibly. Yeah. Okay, so let me look here at... I have a page for you guys, and I'm going to share the screen, and I'll send you your login to it. I want to ask my web guy first. I have my login to it, but it's actually the login to the whole website. So I know that there's a separate login for it, but I've got everything.
I
Okay.
was able to log on.
I was too.
Oh, so you're in it?
I logged on. I saw that all our trainings are on there. It's awesome.
Oh, okay. I sent you the link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's on it.
Oh, you know what? Maybe he sent it.
He must-
Oh, wow. Cool. All right, great. So yeah, all the trainings are in here. What's not in here yet is the PDFs, you know, but all the recordings are on here. So yeah.
I don't think I got that. If I could get that link. I don't think I received it. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I don't have the link either.
I'll make sure you get it. Yeah.
Will you put all the PDFs in there as well? That would be so amazing.
Yes, that's what we're working on right now, is to get them all. Got maybe, 3/4 of them rounded up, but
Cool.
yeah. So detox organs, that's where this would be, Renee. Day 2, detox organs. That was liver.
Wonderful. All right, what would it take for me or whoever wanted to add on the nervous system and hair loss?
Oh,
Yeah, I would love to do the nervous system. Yeah.
okay. I'll send out a nervous system, and we'll do. If you guys want to, I'm gonna have to. It'll have to be a paid for, but I'll just make it real low. But nervous system and hair loss.
Oh.
And hair in general. Yeah, hair loss, hair restore.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, I'll put something together and send it out. But yeah, that would be great.
Thinking that circulation would really help the hair too, Renee.
Yes. Oh, for certain. Yep. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, it said gray hair on there, didn't it? Yeah. Okay, and then hair loss too. Yeah. For women, it could be estrogen dominance. If you see hair, their hair, their hairline, that could be. I'm gonna save my work in 10 minutes. Okay. And then so all of these are in here. So, and then respiratory, we did respiratory, immune, abuse and love, vision, sleep and digestion, and then we'll put this one on today's. So we'll have that there too.
Arlene,
Yeah.
a little bit more about, you had mentioned a referral system and whether or not we want to be on your website. And could you just explain briefly how that would work?
Yeah, so this is the page. You're on there, Margot, and and I just added Jody, or whoever. She does life coaching, so I was putting that on here. I guess I didn't finish it, yeah. So we can have a where I can refer you leads, session referrals, and so that's something that I wanted to ask. I don't want to just do if you're not ready, or if you already have a full-time practice. That kind of thing. So it would be just, whatever your own level of wanting to participate would be. Now, you could be on the page, or maybe you don't even want to be on the page. You don't even want to be on the website, but you would want to be considered for taking, leads by appointment, or by, beforehand asking, hey, can you take some leads this month, or whatever, something like that. Because now too, things are happening, like I go on a show, sell all these packages and so forth, and I was including sessions with me. However, I really don't have a whole lot of time to be doing all kinds of new sessions that come in. Now I've got regulars, that of course that they want me or whatever, that's fine. But the new people, they don't know me yet so much, right? So it would be offering these people sessions with a qualified Your Body Power, anti-aging specialist, or whatever you want to call it, certified specialist. So that's what I'm thinking, is to being able to offer that. And through the show, they're not going to be a huge, I don't even know if I get $50 for a session or whatever, but through them. But the upside is that, is when you're talking to them, they are probably going to need some more work, right? I mean, just in their first half an hour, you're not going to get rid of all of their issues, right? So the upside is the upsell, right? So whatever packages, it could come from that. So that is the idea there. And I've got some information lined up, pretty much kind of an outline of it, but I'm going to put the meat in with the bare bones of it, and I'll send that out to you to how I kind of see that working. And then you can reply to that email saying, yeah, I want to participate, or yes, I'd like to participate, but only in a limited way because I'm already working full-time, or something like that. However you see that being for you. Also, I want to do a holiday special, kind of put something together. I'm kind of working on that right now. So it may include getting a session with somebody right? And so I can add that in as well as whatever, right? So, and it would only be things that we've already covered in our training, which is pretty much everything, kind of, I guess, except the nervous system. But so I would, yeah, I'm kind of considering that a holiday special. And then also I am doing a telesummit. So you know how Iram has From Heartache to Joy. She is, after 10 years, going to let her team handle most of it coming up here. She's going to be going into helping women in setting up entrepreneurial endeavors, other countries, and doing, you know, work for women in other countries, I guess, which is really nice, giving back. So what she's going to do, though, she's training people. So I am included. I'm going to be trained, and I've done one before. I know what I'm doing, and I know all the tech part and everything. I know how to put it together. But what I'm doing is I'm getting her templates, you know, how the pages look and the emails and so forth, and getting that kind of information. So so I'm going to be putting on my own series, and I've got womenspowers.com, and I've got, you know, for women's powers as a theme. And I can be doing it in series, so that could be one series as women's powers, another series could be another topic or theme. But this would provide a platform for people to get on and do a telesummit so that they have experience, and then they can use that page, or they can use the you know, the reference to get on other shows and so forth. So you know, they want to know, what have you done before? Well, you can say, I was on this one. And give the information, or, you know, just here's the page link that, you know, I was promoted for, and this is the packages I do, and that would give them a nice something to go off, and you're already ready, right? So that way you would already have your program in the can all ready to go, so that you can just call different podcasts or different other shows and so forth and do it yourself. So providing a platform for you guys, that's what I figured, since you already are healers now, you know, well, you were probably before, but you have a lot more skills now. So
Exciting. Congratulations.
oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's a way to get out there more, but it's a way to provide a platform and to launch other people, right? To launch you, to put a brand behind you, or to put to get you out to
High vibing. It's so good.
Thank you so much for that, you know, for supporting that for us. If we're not ready, like I'm not ready yet, but can we do it as we get ready to put things on, or is it sort of an entry point now? And
no, as a matter of fact, but just to kind of start thinking about it, right? So what would that mean for me? What is it that I specialize in or want to specialize in? What kind of package can I put together? Now, of course, it's only going to be like $197. So, you know, knowing that you want to just put in like either, you know, a piece of like what we talked about, you know, if it's going to be circulatory, of course, you just want a piece of it, right? You know, for $197, or you could deep dive on just one area, you know, really go deep on one area, or you could just go surface across a few different areas without going deep on each one. And then, you know, each one could be an upsell on those other areas that you only went across the surface on, you know. So just thinking about it that way, it's really kind of a trial platter, you know, appetizer platter, if you will, to the person, you know, but people want sessions. They really do. So,
so can I ask you, let's say someone buys one of these packages, but they buy a session with you, and it's 30 minutes. What can you do in 30 minutes, basically, besides the general clearing for the aura layers and the, you know, energy body and the life force and the removing dark energies, which is a lot, I have found. Yeah. But do like just ask them what they're looking for and then work towards that? Like you said, you can only do so much in 30 minutes, right?
It always comes out. It always comes out, and something always beneficial happens.
Okay.
At every single session. So
You yeah, you get these downloads. Like I was doing a call the other day and I could see these, the boat coming across from Italy. I had never talked to her. She was in Ontario. I could see all the ancestors coming across from Italy. I was like, oh, here we go, right? And it was like intergenerational bloodline. And then so you're kind of doing that basic thing, Tracy, like your basic clearing behind the scenes. But then as you're clearing, all of the amplification stuff starts to come through. And then you kind of get that charting starting. And then by the end of the call, you can tell them, hey, this is what I saw, and then this is what I would recommend we set up for future.
Okay.
Kind of got two brains going at once, like you're doing the present clearing and then paying attention to what's
showing up
through. Yeah, and then you can send them just a little review or something, like a document that says, here's what I saw, and this would be my follow-up recommendations. And usually they're so stoked because it's so dead on that they're like, oh my God, I got to get rid of that.
They want more then, yeah.
yeah,
And then also our skill, like that's what I find, like don't wait till you have it perfected, because we have so much more than so many people. I'm finding as I'm doing it now, like it's just opening.
yes, and true. Also, I've got people who are healers that are buying the packages, and so I'm doing sessions for them, and they're saying, well, I just can't get to this. I don't, but working with them, it's opening up something that they're starting to see it now for themselves. Oh, wow, I get it. Yeah, I see it now, or whatever, we're going into past lives or whatever it happens to be. So there's people that you can help, even the ones who are coming on that are already doing healing work. Yep, and I'm actually working with healers myself, other healers, doing packages for them because they don't do this stuff, right? So
I find they're so rewarding to work with, like the light workers, like really taking them to the next level, and because they're really primed and ready.
Yeah, absolutely, and they get what you're doing, and they're helping you, right? So your job is you're only needing to do maybe half of it because they're doing the other part of it themselves, right? So like yesterday I was with somebody and she said she's a healer, and we're in a past life, and I'm like, she's being drowned and I'm feeling it, and I'm like, there's water, she goes, am I being drowned? I go, yes. Yeah, so yeah, they're very intuitive and get it too. So, but yeah, so there's a ton of people that the majority of them that buy the packages, even though the upsell, they have to buy an additional upsell to get the session with you, or maybe you have it included in your package B instead of your package A. Most people will buy that package B to get the session. So they're really looking to talk to somebody, and maybe your session includes some of the stuff they want to do, but maybe that one thing that's unique to them with their problem, they want to talk to someone about that one thing. Or they see it in your package and that's great, you're going to work on it, but I want to talk to someone and get it relieved immediately, or, so yeah, you'll definitely get people with wanting a session, and from there on, that's where your client base is then. Is to do proposals or recommendations, and putting together packages, having the packages for them ready. And that's why I'm redoing my website, because I have packages now of the different, I got my signature programs like Jody said, but I have the other ones that are the most common, the thyroid and the adrenals. I mean, I just do those all the time, but so you'll find what packages that are unique to you and that you want to offer, and how you want to spin off, and just how busy you want to be too, right? So, I could add on everything in here, but it's like, well, I want to be doing everything,
And the question, is there anyone like you, Marlene, or I find myself focusing on just more the trauma, the psychosocial bloodline karma, the stuff that's the root to some of the physical things, and I'm just not resonating as much with the physical manifestations. So if I get people like that and think, like there's sort of an intuitive hit, then, oh, I think someone like Marlene might be able to help you better with the physicality, you know, expression of some of this deeper stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
Or is there anyone else who would like referrals from that physical part? Like, do you want them, or does anybody? Because
Yeah, I think it can be reciprocal. You know, I refer to you, and then you can refer to me if there's somebody that you know that you don't do that specifically,
yeah, like there's
or one of us, you know, other that we know about. So maybe that would be something that we can share in an email together. This is what I'm looking at being, you know, as my specialty. And, you know, maybe take some time. Don't just, you know, think you have to do it right today or anything. But as you're thinking about who you want to serve and what it is that would honor your heart to do that, you know, the most, right? So, and looking at it from how do I want this to look? How do I want my business to look? How much time am I going to put into it? You know, and what would that look like if I did this subject or that subject? You know, how much am I going to have to do? I mean, a lot of different things. You kind of want to look at it from the back end, starting and going forward then, right? So that my business is going to ultimately look like this. All right, so to get that, what do I need to do to put those pieces together, and what would my program look like? So I think that would be a good starter to see what your specialty would be and what that program would consist of. And just getting the bare bones, you know, just to kind of an outline to start with. And then that can be something that we could talk about too, is to launch, you know, do you have a brand, or, you know, launching your, you know, specialty. So yeah, so be thinking about that, and then just you know, send an email when you get your hit, and so forth. It looks like we've got a couple people that needed to jump off. So yeah, I'll send an email, and then we'll just kind of, you know, converse back and forth from there. And if you wanted to do a session, I know I'm talking to Tracy, Margot, you know, we want to talk or whatever, that might be something we can do too. Jody, I'm talking with you. So yeah, that's how I see it going from here. So yeah, definitely, absolutely opportunities to partner together and keep our relationship going. And I'm just, yeah, I am so pleased, you know, with everybody. And like what Jody was saying, the dynamics of this group, our energies are, you know, just spot on for everybody. I think we're a good match, and trading information back and forth, and trading clients back and forth. Absolutely. Wherever we see the fit, or wherever we feel the fit. Yeah. Margot?
You remembering, like, I'm happy to work with any of you if you need a because I know Marlene's really busy, and vice versa. Like, I know Jody and I have done that a few times, but she'll send me a text or something like, hey, do you get a hit on this for, like, personally? So that, you know, I think it's important that we all stay well, because if we're helping other people, and that's a way in which we can support one another too. It's like do things for each other and keep each other healthy so that we can help other people be healthy.
Good point, Margot. Yeah, because a lot of things, we may not be able to see it for ourselves clearly as we do other people. Absolutely. Yeah, just like me working with other healers, they don't see it. You know, something's blocking them, right? Or maybe their protocol doesn't include those things that get to the bottom of it like ours might, or, you know, vice versa. But yeah, also having someone else see it for you.
Or like that one time I was at that event, and I was like in between these two women, and I just got some weird attachment. Like, and I phoned you, Marlene. It was like, oh yeah, that's like, it's just those, sometimes they're just quick, but it's that check-in going, oh. And of course, I want to be respectful of your time and payment, Marlene. So if you can also clarify with us what you're comfortable with in terms of any of those inquiries. But we as students can do that for each other too if you're busy. So sometimes it's just a quick hit. Like Jody, we had an experience. You had that question about your mom, and I think we helped each other. So
yeah, and Marlene and I do it too. If she has something about a family member, my family members, I always ask one of y'all, what do y'all think about this?
Mm-hmm.
It really does help to have another person, like-minded person to talk to about life.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is family members are almost all, you know, personal. So that sometimes I can just, yeah, am I getting this right? Or am I just wanting it to be like that? You know, just to kind of clear it to see if it's the same for anybody else too. Yeah. So spouses, absolutely. You know, I think this is a good forum for all of us to work with each other. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Good resource. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess let's wrap it up here, and we'll go from here, and we'll just stay in touch. And I'll get an email out to you. It'll probably be after the weekend, but just kind of be thinking about the things we said. And if you're ready to put up your bio as shown on the screen here, we just need your picture, what your bio would say, and then a link to your appointment calendar. Yeah, Margot.
One more question on that. Yeah, you said the link to our appointment calendar. I find my appointment calendar, I don't know, like because my schedule, I'm doing other things. Like it's not like this is all I'm doing so I can just keep my appointment calendar. So is it okay just to have an email? Like I find I do better if people contact me because I'm not at the point where I'm so busy that I'm 3 months out and I need them slotted in. For me, it would just be better to have them contact me via email and then I can set up an appointment with them that way. Is that okay? Or
Yeah, so whatever you want that thank you page to be. So after they've completed their payment, they get sent somewhere, right? And generally I send them to the appointment calendar, but they can be sent to like a landing page that says thank you, and then however you want it to say. Please provide, you know, well, you could just have it be a little form that pops up and just say, you know, your name, your email, the best time, you know, what time zone you're in, you know, preferences, that kind of thing, your phone number, and then enter, right? And then so I'll be in contact.
Paying for up front, like they're paying for an intake session. They're just saying showing interest online. So they actually pay before they talk to you?
Yeah, this is to buy a session. Yes.
So yeah, I guess maybe that's my own block, but I'm thinking they would want to talk to me before they purchase the session.
Depends on how much time you can allot to that. I can't have 50 people. I can't. But you know, maybe you can.
Maybe I can starting. Like that's the difference. So it's like, or I could put like call it an inquiry complimentary session or something, or
you could, but then everybody else on the page, if they're charging for theirs and you're free, you know what I mean? So
yeah, we want to be in alignment that way.
We're assuming that the people who are going to want to work with us, they already are ready to work with us. Coming through Marlene's website.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely.
Because if they're coming through your website, yeah, they're already ready. I see the difference.
Ready. Yeah. Now, if they come through yours, I can see why you would want to do a 15-minute inquiry discovery call.
Okay, so yes, Marlene, for our network from you just want us to have a place where they click on and go, hey, I'm booking my first session.
Yeah, exactly. Because people coming through the shows, they get it. They know what they're doing. They, you know, and if they go to somebody else's website, they're going to expect to have to pay to get a session with them too. They're not expecting to get a free session, you know.
Right, and we can talk as a group what those costs are for first session.
Yeah, so, yeah, and yeah, let's do that because
on your website, like I could put like referrals from Marlene's Your Body Power or something, and then I could put click here, special offer or something, and then people might ask like, oh, what is that? And I could say, well, attend one of Marlene's events, or you know, so we could get this cross thing going.
But they've already paid by the time they land on your page, I think, Margot. Isn't that right, Marlene? They're paying at your site.
Yeah, they're paying here on this page, and then they're wherever you want them to go after they paid. It's up to you, or what you want them to do.
Okay, so when they're on your site, then you just need a link to go to us.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I'm
schedule
sorry.
with you. Yes.
Yeah, but it could be just a page, or it could even be a landing page, and it can even be something I put together off, off my URL or whatever, saying whatever it is you want them to do. Thank you, blah, blah, whatever you want.
Okay.
Schedule your session by emailing this,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get your session booked, do this somehow, whatever it is
Okay.
you want. Yeah, whatever works for you.
Call to action for booking the appointment.
Yeah, whatever that happens to be, let me know what that is.
Okay.
Yep, and then I'll put together some pricing suggestions. And of course it's going to be a cut, from my end that, for the lead, for the referral, whatever. But that's going to go through the referral partners thing. So it's all documented. You'll all have a referral partners dashboard. So you can see, now, like if you refer people to me, to other products or programs, then you can also make a commission off of those too. So I've got that set up as well. So
Marlene, once a client books a session with any one of us and they continue to book sessions, do you continue to take a commission from future sessions as well, or just that one session?
I think it would be what they call tiered. So it just kind of goes down in, percentage as far as that goes. And if you're going to continue to service them after a certain point, then it will become your client. But at the beginning, I think, yes, it's still going to be considered like a Your Body Power co-branded kind of thing, so that I still feel comfortable that I'm referring people that, I know you guys are going to do the job. I don't have a question about that at all. But just to make sure that they're getting serviced and helped and whatever. But after a certain point, yeah, I mean, you can get your regulars, get them for future products, programs, upsells, have them on your mailing list, whatever. They're,
Okay.
they would be your lead, yeah. So, anything
great.
else? Yeah, I think we covered everything else here. Yeah.
You'll send around maybe some options for dates for the nervous system.
Yeah.
Switching gears, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Dates options. Okay. Yep. I'll get that worked up probably over the weekend and get it out to you after that. So, all right. Yay, you guys. That's such great energy. I love being with you guys.
I know, it's like,
As our spiritual guide and mother for this whole training, you want to give us a final number on our group, vibration? We can all check for ourselves. I always like to hear what Marlene.
Okay. So as a total, as a group for you, and even the people who aren't right on right now. Okay. So Dia, yeah. Renee, Dan, okay. What are we at to? I'm getting 1525.
no wonder I'm so dizzy.
1525, and I'm going to continue to work on it a little bit, and we'll get it up even higher. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Marlene, stay on for 1 minute. I've got one thing to tell you.
Okay. All right. And I'll talk to you in a little while then, Tracy, right?
Yes. See you
Okay.
soon.
Okay.
See you, Margot.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Thanks so much.
Aw, thank
Bye,
you.
Tracy.
Bye. I'm going to stop recording. Okay, there we go. Stop recording.